Welcome everyone to our 33rd class of Shar Habitachan. I am your host, Chai Ben Shimon, and looking forward to this class. We always like to start off with giving because how we give, that's how Hashem will give to us. Let's give generously so Hashem can and will give us generously. I'm going to put a coin in the tzedakah box. Please join me from home. So we're going to start off with prayer. Tehillim, Psalm 20, Kapitel Chaf. We're praying for the hostages to come home immediately and for the protection of the Jews all around the world, and for the protection of our incredible Chaylim and Chaylo IDF, who are literally tzaddikim and doing Hashem's will, and Hashem will protect them. So join me. Lam Natseach, Mizmar LeDavid, Yamcha Adonai B'Yom Sarah. Yisagevcha, Shem Elahei Akav, Yishlach Ezracha Mikadesh. Umitzian Yisadecha, Yizkar Kol Mitzvaysecha, Ve'elascha Yidash Nasela. Yitain Lachachel, Vavavcha V'chot Azcha Yimalei. Niranana B'Shua, Secha V'Shem Eloheinu Nigol Yimalei Adonai Kol Mishal Secha. Ata Yadaiti Ki Yeshia Adonai Mishecha Yanehu Mishmei Kashai B'Borai Seshai Yiminai. Ela V'Recha V'Ela V'Susim V'Anachnu B'Shem Adonai Eloheinu Naskir. Hema Karu V'Nafalo V'Anachnu Kamenu V'Nisaydad. Adonai Yeshia Hamelach Yanenu V'Yem Karinu. It is known, the Tzemach Tzedek said, if we only knew the power of Tehillim, we would say it day and night. So I want to introduce to you again Devorah Leah Andrusier, our incredible teacher. She is a Shar Habitachan enthusiast, wears many other hats. Hashem gave her a lot of gifts. And she recently discovered that she's an incredible, we discovered, not she, she's an incredible speaker. She does speaking engagements around wherever you'll bring her. So I highly recommend for you to bring her out. This is not something that she asked me to do. I just feel like she's a gift to the world, and she has so much to share on really every topic under the sun. So welcome, Devorah Leah Andrusier. We're so happy to have you for class 33 of Shar Habitachan.
So I'm just going to say one thing because I get uncomfortable every time.
Sorry.
But we're learning Bitachon, right? And if Hashem gave us certain talents, it's not me. Before I teach a class, before I speak somewhere, I literally say to Hashem, I write into the Rebbe and I say to Hashem, please help me that the words that come out of my mouth should be able to enter into the hearts of the people who are listening. So I'll take it in that way. Thank you, Hashem, for making me who I am. Okay, just want to, before we start with dealing with loneliness, I want to go back a little bit to financial struggles and strains. So when we're going through difficulty, it is normal for a person who trusts in Hashem to be angry at God. Somebody said to me, but I'm so angry at Hashem, and I feel like that's a terrible thing. And I said to her, it's actually not a terrible thing. When you are in an intimate relationship with someone, when you are close to someone, you're going to get angry at them at some point. If you are angry with Hashem, it means that I'm in a relationship with God. So when I'm doing well, I'm grateful to Hashem. When I'm struggling, I'm angry, but I'm connected to my source. Oh, let's just talk about a little bit with the 4 sons on Pesach. So you have the Chacham, he's the easiest, he's a nachas machine, everything that comes out of his mouth is good. Then you have the Rasha, he's against everything that we do, but there's passion in him. There's a fire in him. The one that's the hardest is the one that's apathetic. The one who doesn't care, neither here nor there. I don't care if I come, I don't care if I don't come. It's really meaningless to me. Those are the Jewish people that we need to try and connect with. And when the Lubavitcher Rebbe started his campaign to put on tefillin on people, there were a lot of other Jews who had a problem with that. Like, you're standing on a street corner, you're wrapping tefillin with someone, it's a one-time deal, he's never going to do it again. Like, was it even meaningful? And what the Rebbe taught us is there is an actual mitzvah in putting on tefillin, even if you only do it once, but it's more about that immediate connection that he has with that other person. That immediate connection that that person who wrapped tefillin with him on the corner of Canal Street in Manhattan, he will remember that person. And when there is an opening in him, he will be able to have someone to reach out to be able to explore what's starting to simmer inside of him. So I think it's really important for us to keep our eyes open, and to keep our eyes open without judgment in our eyes. We don't have a right to judge other people. Hashem made each of us the way that we are. So if Hashem made somebody a certain way, how could I judge them? Who am I to be that judge? Someone was talking to me about what happened on October 7th and, the whole thing of, a lot of the people who were killed were not connected necessarily in an observant way to Hashem. And the person asked me, do you think that they deserved punishment? Definitely 100%. They were very clear, not the punishment that they received, not the horrific horror that took place on that day. But do you think that they deserve to be punished? And I said to the person, I am neither judge nor jury. When people would come to the Lubavitcher Rebbe to ask about the Holocaust, the Rebbe said, and I'm not quoting his exact words, but the idea was, we have no right or ability to even try to respond to that. And anyone who attempts to do that is a fool, because we cannot explain a horrific death of another Jew. We need to be kind and loving and accepting to everyone, each and every single person, and let the judgment happen from the person, the entity that's supposed to be the judge. Not me, not you, not any of us, only Hashem. Okay, so before we start this, I'm just going to tell a little story. There was a Yemenite man from Israel, and he literally worked back-breaking labor. He was never, ever able to make a living. So he decides to himself, I'm going to go speak to a rabbi, and I'm going to tell him about my struggles, and maybe he'll be able to help me. So he goes to this rabbi, and he says, I've been doing back-breaking work for Am Yisrael. I'm in construction. I'm building homes. I'm building things for people. I can't make a parnasa. Maybe Mishana Makkah, Mishana Mazel, you change your place, you change your mazel. Maybe I should move to America. So the rabbi that he was speaking to was Rav Kook. And the rabbi says to him, I want you to go sit down in my chair. So the man says to him, how can I sit in your chair? I'm a simple person. You're a holy man. How can I sit in your chair? He says to him, I want you to go sit in my chair. He sits down in his chair and he falls asleep, and he has a dream that he comes to the gates of heaven, and they bring him to the heavenly courts. That's what happens when we come to heaven. We go to the court where they're judging us, making sure that we have hopefully more positive than negative. And he sees around him wagons full of packages coming, wagons of packages coming and coming. And they put the packages on the scale. And those were heavy, and those were his sins. And he says, where are my good deeds? Where are my good deeds? When are my good deeds coming? And they come in with truckloads of dirt and rocks, and they put it on the scale, and it's able to tip the scale. So he wakes up, and Rav Kook says to him, I think you have your answer. I think you have your answer. You were able to see exactly where you're going to get your reward. So sometimes there are people who struggle here in this world, because in the next world, and the next world that we very much believe in, is the Olam HaEmes, the world of truth, and that's where he's going to receive his reward. So if we tap into our deeper selves, we tap into who the Jewish person is, if we are connected to our source, and if we are loving and kind to our fellow Jew, we are absolutely invincible. It makes zero sense. It's completely irrational that the Jewish people are still here. There has not been a century or a decade that the Jewish people have not been tortured, expelled from countries over and over and over again. And those people who expelled us are long gone, and we are here. Why are we still here? It's irrational, but why we're still here is because we are the Jewish people. Hashem chose us. We are the chosen nation. With being the chosen nation comes a heck of a lot of responsibility. To be chosen is an honor, but it is also a major responsibility. Okay, so now we are going to start with dealing with loneliness. Okay? If he is estranged, living alone, then he should connect with God at the times of his loneliness, and he should rely on God in his state of estrangement. In order to comfort himself, he should dwell on the fact that the soul is estranged in this world, and that all the people of the world are considered as strangers in it. As the verse says, for you are strangers and temporary residents with me. So we know that the neshama, when it's in Shemayim, in the celestial heights with Hashem and the tzaddikim, the neshama does not want to come down here. Begs and pleads with Hashem, don't send me down to that crazy world of materialism. But then they get sent. And once they are already down here, they then want to stay here. There's a beautiful song, can't sing for the life of me, especially with this voice, but it's come to me, my little neshama. You should listen to that song. It's beautiful. It talks about the neshama struggle of not wanting to come down. But once the neshama's here, he wants to maximize his time here and live up to the potential and the purpose of why Hashem sent him down here. And he can only do that. The neshama can only function if we, the physical body, the materialistic parts of us, are in tune with our neshama and are feeding our neshama on a daily basis. Okay. Furthermore, he should comfort himself in the following manner. He should think to himself that even all those people who have close ones in the world will in a short amount of time revert to being strangers and alone. And neither a person's close one nor his child will be able to help him then, nor will they be able to connect with him. That's the reality of life, right? They say there's two things in life that are certain, taxes and death. Once we're no longer here, no matter how many people have loved us, they cannot bring us back. Now, I want to read this from inside. It's a little part of the commentary, reflecting on the following. I have a soul that is literally a part of Hashem, and my actions affect this piece of God within me. Therefore, I need to have mercy on God, who is in exile within my body, for the purpose that I should reunite this piece with its source through the study of Torah and mitzvos and its fulfillment. So, same way this person, what he's saying is the same way this person who's alone, not married, doesn't have any family, doesn't have that part of life for him. Hashem is also, it says, a stranger in this land. Hashem's nefesh elokis that we have inside of us is a stranger in this land until we allow them to no longer be a stranger. What is that? A dira bitachon. We're creating a dwelling place for Hashem here where he doesn't have to feel like a stranger, where he's comfortable, where Hashem to walk into my door right now. Am I ready for that? Is my house a home that is prepared for the presence of godliness? We need to think about those things. What does my house look like? What does my internals look like? What does my workspace look like? Am I prepared for holiness to enter into this space and to be perfectly at ease and comfortable? Okay. He should think to himself, next page, sorry. Page 150. After this, he should think about the fact that due to living alone, the weight of those people's loads, responsibilities, and needs has been removed from him. He should consider this removal to be one of the kindnesses of the Creator to him. For if a person who pursues worldly matters and its needs, his work will be much less of a strain on him if he does not have a wife and children. It emerges that the lack of a wife and children is the cause for his rest and for his own good. If a person who seeks the matters of the world to come, spiritual matters, then his mind will, without a doubt, be more occupied and free to pursue these matters when he is alone than if he had a family with which he busied himself. This is why the ascetics would flee from their relatives and houses to the mountains, so that they could free their hearts and minds to focus on the service of God. Similarly, the prophets of the time of prophecy would leave their places of residence and seclude themselves so they could free their minds to ponder fulfilling the obligations imposed on them by the Creator. Now, this is speaking to someone who is in this situation. The ultimate goal of life is to be married, is to have a family, right? Pru'uruvu, that is a very important mitzvah. It's the continuation of the Jewish people. But each person has a role, and each person has a space. And someone who doesn't have those gifts, he's showing us how even that person, there's gifts within what looks like a very painful experience. And if we're able to fully own that, and it is not an easy thing, but if we're able to own that, the more we trust, the more we also break out of that space and things can change. But if they don't, we are connected to Hashem. I don't have family, I have God. I have God. I don't have family. Now I don't have to have the responsibilities of family, and I am able to do the things to elevate myself. Now, this book is not a proponent of being an ascetic, neither is Judaism. Hashem does not want us to be on a mountaintop alone, communing with him and connecting with Hashem. Hashem wants within our everyday life, within the chaos, within packing lunches and picking up carpool and all of that, that's where we find Hashem. Within my daily life, Hashem exists. Within my daily life, Hashem is supporting and carrying me through everything that I'm experiencing. Okay, top of page 152. As you know from the story of Elijah and Elisha, about whom the verse states, 12 yokes were before him, and he was with the 12th. Since Elijah subtly hinted to him that he would be a prophet, Elisha understood him and said, "Please allow me to kiss my father and mother, and I will go after you." And the following verse states, and he followed Elijah and ministered to him. So because he was told that he is going to be a Navi, he knew that he was going to need to separate himself from his family in order to be able to do this holy work. And it's incumbent on people at certain times to have to be able to do that, that Hashem will be his partner. He is not alone. Yes, he's leaving his home. Yes, he's leaving the comfort and safety of his parents, but he has another absolute mission in this world. Okay. The story is told of an ascetic who went to a certain country to teach its inhabitants about the correct way to serve God. He found that they were all wearing the same colored clothing and ornaments. Their gravesites were next to the doors of their homes, and he did not see any women among them. When he asked them about this, they replied, "The reason why we all wear the same colored clothing is so that it should not be distinguishable between the poor and the rich, and so that the rich will not end up arrogant and boastful about his wealth, and so that the poor will not despise himself, and he should think of his life on this earth in the same manner as when he will be underneath it after his passing." It is said about one of the kings that he would mingle among his servants and could not be identified among them because he conducted himself humbly in regard to his clothes and ornaments that he wore. As to the reason why we placed our grave sites next to the doors of our homes, it is in order that we take rebuke from it by being ready for death and to prepare ourselves for the provisions that bring us to the place of rest. So this is a super high level, and we just think about it. They bury their dead next to their homes. So there's a constant reminder that life is fleeting. We are here for a designated amount of time. What am I going to do with my time? If I sit back and I'm like, yeah, I'm just chilling, even my chilling has to be purposeful. If I'm chilling to waste time, I am actually taking a part of my life and squandering it. If I'm chilling because I just had a full week and I need to chill for a little bit so that I can continue to do more positive things, then the chill has a purpose. I'm relaxing for a purpose. It's not just, yeah, I'm just being. How many times do people say, I need to kill 20 minutes. I need to kill some time. The reason that it's called killing time, even in the American vernacular, is because that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking precious time that Hashem has given us where we can be forward movement, growing, connecting, and we're killing time. So that is something we should never do. We should never do that. Okay, next page, 154. That which you notice that we separated ourselves from our wives and children, you should know that we designated a city for them nearby. When one of us needs something from them, he goes to them and takes care of his needs, and then he returns to us. We did this because we saw the stress, much loss, great exertion, and toil that would come to us as a result of being in proximity to them, and the relief from all of this due to our distance from them, enabling us to be free to choose to engage in matters of the world to come and to detest matters of this world. So we are not meant to live that way. We are not meant to live that way. We are meant to live with our people, have them next to us, and within the stress and the responsibility and the chaos, that is where we're connecting to Hashem. When somebody is able to commune with God because they're sitting on a mountaintop somewhere, or someone's able to sit and learn all day in a kollel or in a yeshiva, and they're designated to connecting to Hashem, that's one level. But then you have the businessman who goes to work and is working all day, and throughout his day, he sees everything that needs to happen in a certain way, just precisely for every deal to be able to take place. When a businessman is acknowledging Hashem, he's acknowledging God from a different place. It's not, I'm just here and I've separated all physicality from me and I'm literally just connecting with Hashem, is a super high level. But a level deeper than that is, I am living a mundane life. I am living in a regular world with regular craziness and goodness and beauty and hardship. And within that space, I'm connecting to Hashem. I see God in every step of the way. That is a significantly higher level. I just want to say this, and I wish it was interactive so that you guys could respond. But one of my bubbies, Bubby Riva, who Chaya mentioned earlier, when I was younger, she would say to me, who do you think is a better friend? Someone who could be there for you when you're going through a difficult time in your life, or someone who is joyous for you when things are good? So when I was a younger child, I would always say, of course, if I'm sad and I'm in a bad mood and someone comes to make me happy, they're the best friend ever. And she would say to me, Yiddish people, Jewish people, we have a heart. You see someone suffering, it's a natural thing for us to want to put your hand on them. How can I help? What can I do? How can I be of support to you? It's a natural thing for a Jewish person to want to do for another person. What's really hard for people is when my life is doing well, everything is just smooth. The kids are great. My relationship with my spouse is great. I'm feeling strong and good. For my friend to be able to say, I am happy for you in this place where you are right now, that is a real friend. That is what we need in life. And that is what we need to be able to be for others. How Bitochon helps us be able to be that. Because if everything is on me and I'm in control and I have to make sure everything's happening and do things the right way, and my kids don't have this and I really want that, I'm working, I'm in a frenzy, I'm moving at a crazy pace, I'm not breathing. If I say to myself, yes, I want all of that, and Hashem is absolutely going to give me what I need, not excess, not necessarily excess, but what I need, it removes that need from us of having to continuously overextend. It removes that need from us of having fear that I'm not going to be taken care of. Hashem's got my back. Hashem has my back. Okay. Bottom of page 154, dealing with family and friends. If the person trusting in God has a wife, family members, friends, and enemies, then he should rely on God to save him from the burden usually associated with being involved with them. And he should make efforts to meet his obligations toward them and to take care of their wants and do so wholeheartedly. He should avoid doing anything that will cause them harm Instead, he should engage in the means that will bring them good, and he should be loyal to them regarding all of their matters. So here it's talking about a wife and children. So when it talks about a wife and children and our friends, it makes sense. I should take care of them. I should not do anything that's going to harm them. I should want to make their life as comfortable as possible. And he brings in the word enemies. Even our enemies, we need to do that with. So let's talk about an enemy. What's an enemy? Is someone who says something hurtful, does something hurtful to me. Now, once I have this Bitachon strong inside of me, that person who hurt me is answerable to Hashem. But I was meant to hear what they said. I was meant to feel those feelings. So if I understand that this person who's standing in front of me right now had the right to choose to be the shaliach, the conduit who was going to say the mean thing or not the main thing, say the mean thing, came to them, they could have said, yeah, no, I'm keeping my mouth closed. I'm not going to be the one. So they're answerable to Hashem. But for me, someone says something hurtful to me, and we've talked about this, if it really stings, generally it's something that I know is true about myself, that I lack in, or that I'm doing incorrectly, that I need to work on. So when someone says something hurtful or acts in a hurtful way, the very first thing that we should do is do a quick din v'cheshbon, took a quick accounting of self. Why did that hurt? Oh, it hurt because I know it. I know that I struggle in that area. I know I don't step up in that area. I know I need work to do. And then it's my responsibility to walk away from that and work on those things. Sometimes though, you do an accounting of self and you're like, you know what? That doesn't land here. I don't feel like that really had anything to do with me. And because I'm trusting Hashem, because I'm able to know that whatever is said to me needs to be said to me, I don't have to look at that person as an enemy. They may not be my best friend, but I don't have to look at that person as an enemy. If that person is putting out mean, hateful things, that person is struggling. So the next level would be for me to be able to say, you know, what you just said to me just really didn't feel like it had anything to do with me. I'm here for you. And it's not gaslighting if you say it from a really true and honest place. Like, let me flip this around. Like, I feel like you're hurting. What's going on? Talk to me. And people are afraid to do that. We're scared to dig a little bit deeper. We're very comfortable with surface level. Hashem doesn't want us at surface level. Hashem wants us to continue to dig in ourselves and to dig with the people that are around us. You say to someone, hey, how are you? And I'm good. Baruch Hashem, I'm good. And you look at their face and their face is saying, I am the furthest thing from good. So you can either choose to not acknowledge that and say, okay, great, I'm Baruch Hashem too, and walk on your merry way. Or you could take a minute and talk to them and see what comes. When we share our pain with another person, we are relieved of pain. These families that came here and told their stories to us felt better afterwards. Someone else is carrying this with me. Someone else understands what I experienced. Someone else feels some level of what I'm feeling. I'm able to now let go a little bit of it, let myself breathe, let myself have a renewed sense of hope, because there are people standing at my side all the time. And that's where we will end class for today.
Wow, thank you so much. That was beautiful. While you were speaking, I came across this incredible story that I want to end off. It's a Rebbe story. And the punchline is exactly what you were saying. So here goes. Mark Wilson was facing a dark period in his life. After the collapse of his second marriage and a sorry, it was a hard word. Okay. He lost his job of his rabbinical career. Shortly after, he headed to New York, where he met the Rebbe and discussed his plans to devote more time to writing. Whatever you choose to do, it should be with success, the Rebbe said. Spread Judaism to those around you. and he was no longer in the rabbinate and was no longer in teaching. And the Rebbe added, a layman can influence others much more than a rabbi. When the rabbi preaches, people know that this is what he was hired to do. When a layman teaches, however, it's clear that he does it because he believes in it. Over the years, Mark's depression deepened, and eventually he was spending more of his days watching television from bed. Life, he felt, left him no option. He would pen articles about his dark life, and there was plenty of depressing people who liked reading stories about depressing people. On his next visit to Crown Heights, the Rebbe instructed Mark, you should teach. The Rebbe obviously understood, said Mark, that to heal from depression, I needed to start giving to others. However, the following year likewise passed in a depressive blur, in which Mark did not heed the Rebbe's counsel. Again, he found himself at the Rebbe's door. The Rebbe then suggested, you should teach anything, perhaps Talmud, even if it's only just one or two people in your living room. Soon afterwards, Mark began to lead a class in Talmud, and his life was altered forever. So much about the story is you don't need to be a rabbi to influence others. Devorah Leah is the daughter of a rabbi, but she is also does so much. She's an entrepreneur, and she takes her time. Yes, she's a party planner, a very highly skilled party planner. Sorry, she doesn't like that I'm doing that. She does a lot of amazing things, but the fact is that she chose to teach, and she's going to answer and tell us if it's true. And I could tell you from my YouTube channel, I never imagined myself giving over classes, arranging classes. And it really benefited me. Like every week I learned so much from others, and it's incredible. So if you know an Aleph, this is my message, teach an Aleph. I'm so thankful to Devorah Leah that she has a busy life and she's taking the time to teach us her Alephs that she knows, Shar Habitachan. She's really good at it. And it came from a place of darkness when her son went to the army and she was scared and worried and really afraid. And she opened this book that she never did, and her cousin taught it to her. And today, a good teacher can say that, their student is better than them. She is fantastic and awesome. And we're so lucky that we get to have her. I'm very into Karsa type. It's really important. And I'm so happy that she's back. But I also understood that she needed that week to take care of that family. So I didn't push her. So thanks everyone for understanding. I got a lot of requests. When is the classes starting up? When are the classes starting up? I'm like, don't worry. We're gonna finish the book, and it's gonna be over the top. So thank you so much, Devorah Leah. Really appreciate it. Sorry.
I just want to say one last thing, because we have such a wonderful group here. My son is going back into Gaza on Thursday with his new group of Chayalim that he trained. And if everyone could just daven for Rafal ben Devorah Leah and all of his soldiers and all of the soldiers, I would very much appreciate it. It's Rafal ben Devorah Leah. And Chaya, the reason that I said yes to you to teach this, a recorded class, which is different than a live class, you have to really, be prepared, is this book. I read it many years ago. Someone had told me to read it, and I read it, and I was like, okay, it sounds like a wonderful book, but like for a tzaddik, not for me. And when the war started and I knew I needed something bigger, it started to have an impact on me within 3 days of learning it. So I was definitely open to receiving something that is more powerful than me and outside of me. But because it had such an incredible impact on my life, like I say, I am 1000% a different person than I was before I started learning this. And if I could help one person feel more peace, more contentment, more joy, less stress, less fear, less anxiety, then it's worth it for me. So I'm hoping that, and I know we have received quite a bit of feedback that, people are listening and they didn't realize necessarily how much of an impact or if it was having any impact at all. And then a difficult scenario comes up and they were like, wow, it really does work. It really is, making that mind, heart, neshama connection. It's really happening. So I bless us all that we maintain our God consciousness and our Bitachon consciousness on a daily basis.
Thank you, Devorah Leah, and thank you for choosing our platform to do this on. I know you
That's
did it
'cause I
because
love
you
you.
love me, Jinx. Because she really could have done it on any other platform. She's very, very well connected with a lot of people, yes, and people have approached her, but she chose my platform, which is not mine. It's our platform that I get to bring out light to the world. So thank you, Devorah Leah, and thank you for making a difference in my life because it shifted my life personally, and I love it. Shar Habitachan is amazing. And the Rebbe said when someone's going through a hard time in their life, to learn it 3 times, not 1, not 2, but 3 times. So don't just like listen once, listen 3 times. And once you learn it, teach it. Like that's what we want. We want to pay it forward. Devorah Leah is giving her time 100% pro bono. Doesn't ask for payment, doesn't ask for money, which is so nice of her that she does this. Pay it forward and teach it to the next one. Also, like give your time to the next one. Sorry. I was just very inspired today by today's class, so I had a lot more to say. We do this every week, and on Wednesdays we have a live class, so people share their life journeys and stories. Connect to our YouTube channel. That's Chaya Mink, CHAYAMINK, Chaya Mink, to see past classes and future classes. And we are going to bring the rest to you, and we're going to be more consistent. So I'm very, very excited. And I want to just take a moment and just give a shout out to our grandmothers. We do this in memory of our grandmothers, Rivka Dina Bas Yosef Yehuda and Rachel Bela Bas Shneir Zalman. I hope you're proud. And Devorah Leah's grandmother is like my grandmother. So that's why I said our grandmothers. Her family knows. Anyways, have a blessed, amazing day and see you next time. Thanks so much. And thanks for listening.